Hi there, this is Carrie from Stamp with CT. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Texas. And it is Wednesday. Gosh, I'm trying to think what day it is. It is flying by. February is just flying by. And it is a little bit cool, and it is very rainy here in Texas today. We had a bad thunderstorm last night. Had some problems with my internet, so hopefully all of that has been corrected. Hopefully, Facebook will decide to send out notifications today. I know last week a lot of people had trouble finding my video, so I'm not sure what is going on with that. But please, Facebook, help us out, help a girl out. So we're excited to be here with you this morning. It's just me and Oliver. Last week Dale was home because of bad weather, and he helped me out with the measurements and cutting of our fancy fold, our 4-fold card that we did last week. And today we're going to make another fun fold, but it is super simple. And so I hope that you will enjoy this. I've decided, this was kind of an afterthought, but I think we're going to do fun folds in February. Why not? We've already got that ball rolling, so we're just going to go along with it. I think that'll be fun. Our videos in Wednesday will make fun folds. So if you missed last week's video, it was a lot of fun and a really, really cute card that we made with the Rain or Shine Designer Series paper in that suite of products. And so you can go back to last Wednesday and see that video on my Stamp with CT page. You can just click on the videos as well. But it's really cute. We give you the measurements and everything. I'll do the same thing today, but I'll tell you, this is a super simple one. I don't know the name of it though. So if you know the name of this fold, let me know, or if you come up with a good name for it. A lot of people call different folds and different techniques and stuff different things. So I think we could name it if none of us know what it's actually called. Now we're going to start with some of the products that we're using today, and this is from the Fancy Flora Suite collection. It's a beautiful collection, y'all, and it is really special to me because when we had our Stampin' Up! On stage in Arlington back in the first part of November, I was able to present this to the other demonstrators, and I've shared the projects that I made when we did our launch party, and it's a beautiful suite of products. I was so honored to be able to present, and just so excited to get the products early before the catalog released and just get to play with some brand new products and come up with some projects. So this is I could like to call them a mega suite because it has 2 different stamp die bundles. So you've got first the one with the images only, and this one is a photopolymer set. So you've got 2-step stamping because you've got the outline of the flower and then the more detailed flower. I love it because you've got dies for each of the sizes of the flowers, and I've shared this with you before, but what I like to do is set this up on the Stamparatus, and I just put all of the flowers, and then I flip the plate and I put all of the more detailed accent pieces, and I just stamp all of them at once. And then I cut them all out at once, just one pass through the die cut because there's one for each size. And that way I can put those flowers in a clear envelope, put them in with my stamps, and then I have them when I need them. So today we're actually going to be able to pull out my little clear envelope with all the goodies already done, and it just really saves me time. Now this die set has that beautiful detailed background die as well that covers the full front of your card. So this is one of the die stamp bundles, and then this other one is red rubber, and I love, love, love the sentiments in this, the font in this. This is one of those all occasion stamp sets because it just has so many different sentiments. And then the dies that coordinate with this or a label, or you can even turn them into tags. You've got some little detail pieces that you can add some interest, or you can punch the hole actually to make it into a tag. You've got this little, oh, I don't know, just a little strip that you can add for accent. This one, it's not an actual perfect hexagon, but it's a really cool little die as well. So the fact that these nest inside of each other gives you options as far as layering, but I love these dies as well. So this is the other stamp die bundle. And then the designer series paper, it's a 6x6. So let me kind of flip through quickly because, oh my goodness, y'all, this paper, there is a artist at Stampin' Up, and I believe her name, if I remember correctly, is Vanessa. She hand painted on canvas the designs, like used watercolor and splatters and a putty knife, and just added all the beautiful texture and colors. And then that was photographed to make the designer series paper. So I love that our paper is just so gorgeous, and it was hand painted basically and then reproduced. So let's talk a little bit about, I'm gonna bring in my trimmer. We're going to talk a little bit about the card base. Now, this is a piece of Night of Navy cardstock, 8.5 by 11. And I'm just going to pop it in my trimmer at 4 1/4. And I'll cut that right in half, y'all. So you really would get 2 cards out of each piece of cardstock. We're just making one today, though. Now, I'm going to bring this in at 5.5 inches. And I'm going to make sure that my cutting blade, the darker blade, is back out of the way. And we'll score right here. Okay. Easy peasy, right? Now I'm going to slip this back in the trimmer, and I'm going to put it at 3 inches. And this time we'll use that darker cutting blade again. And I love that this retracts up and out of the way, either to the top or bottom. And at 3 inches, we're going to cut this right off. So I think that's all the cutting that we need to do. I'll get my trimmer out of the way. Let's see here. I have a bone folder. I have my phone plugged in. I think my phone is coming to the end of its life. That's what I record these videos with. It is not wanting to hold a charge, y'all. So I'm just going to use my bone folder, kind of settle down some of those rougher edges where I cut it. So this is where we have burnished along that score line. And then we have this other piece. Now we're going to hold on to that. What's great about this fun fold is once you cut that piece off, you're going to use it. Now I have some designer series papers already cut. And the first one that I have is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. Now, I am not going to worry so much about making sure I tell you all of the measurements, because y'all know that I go back and I edit the description of the video and I add that for you. So all you have to do is give me just a few minutes after the video ends, and I'll go back in there and do that. So you'll be able to recreate this card, and I hope that you will. Several of you recreated our 4-fold card from last week, and that made me super happy. And if you have recreated it and have not either posted a photo of your creation in the comments or sent one to me, I hope you will. I had several people send me pictures, and then there were a couple that posted in the comments too. So go back to last week's video and look at that thread. Just keep burnishing this guy. It doesn't want to settle down. Okay, next we will bring in a couple of pieces of designer series paper. Now this one is 4 inches by 2 1/4, and it's just going to layer right over here. Is this not beautiful? It's just the A and B side of this piece of designer series paper. And this paper, oh my goodness, it is fabulous. I think I want that darker piece more towards the bottom and the side of the card. So So we're just leaving a small border all the way around. I mean, that's pretty just like that, isn't it? So this is 4 by 2 1/4. Now, that piece that we used, that we cut off, you know, it came right here, so it's 4 1/4 by 3 inches. We're actually going to turn it, and we're going to add it right there. But first, I want to go ahead and add this piece of Designer Series paper. Put just a little bit in the middle. That little squiggle. It is not necessary, but, you know, it's fun, so that's what I do. Just my habit. And that's going to be our focal image on the outside. So pretty, so pretty. Trying to decide, I may want it where the darker piece is up in that corner. We'll see. Now, to write on this, because this is just a really pretty card, and it's really showing off our Designer Series paper. So, of course, we're going to attach this over here. And when the card opens, I want this area to write on. So, again, just a piece of basic white that is 4 inches by 2 1/4. And we'll add that on the inside. Now, you could also put a white panel, I think, on the back. That would be fine, wouldn't it? But it makes sense to have that place. And I know that sometimes we don't always have a lot to say, or we don't know really what to say. So that's just a small area to write. And you could certainly add more if you need more room. Now this, I think, this paper is fabulous. And there is a sympathy sentiment in this set. And so I think this really is a paper that lends itself, and a suite that lends itself to making sympathy cards. So keep that in mind, because those are the cards to me that are just the absolute hardest for me to create. They're the ones that I don't really want to create, and I don't like creating. Sorry, I didn't mean to make that so so crinkly. So I have this little bag, and it's got several things inside of it. Lots of little pieces that have already been, like the sentiment's been embossed. I've got some flowers, and I really think I'm just gonna go with maybe a couple of the blue flowers. I'm almost out of flowers. And then I've got these sentiments that have already been embossed. So a lot of times when I'm creating, if I end up with extras like that, I take one of our clear envelopes, and these envelopes are fabulous for keeping your cards in, especially when you store them. I use like the plastic shoe boxes that you can get at one of your big box stores. And so that keeps the cards from rubbing against each other. And you can reuse these just over and over. And they're also, you can mail your cards in this if you want to where your recipient kind of gets a sneak peek of what they're getting. And then just put a piece of white cardstock with their address. You can put the stamp right on it. You can mail in these. It's awesome. I've received cards like that before. But anyway, I have these pieces left over. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this sentiment that has already been embossed, because I think that will be really pretty. It saves me some time too when I'm creating, when I use those pieces that I already have ready. Now, I think that flower is probably a little bit too big, so I think I'm going to go with these two smaller ones. And then in this suite is also some pool party ribbon, grosgrain ribbon. And so I think we'll put a bow. I'm going to put this guy back in my envelope for next time. And let's just assemble this card. So this just makes it so easy. Before I put that on the front, I think I'll bring my dimensionals in if I can find them. And let's get this panel secured on here. I'm just going to center it on our card. And y'all, again, let me know what you think this fold is called or should be called. I really do not know. if there is an official name for it, what it is. And I think what I'm going to do this time is I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and put my dimensionals on. And I'm going to put 6, mainly because this is a fun fold and it's the mechanism of the card. So I want to make sure that it's good and secure on the card front. Don't want anybody pulling that off when they go to open the card. Sometimes, you know, we card makers, we know about fun folds, but sometimes our recipients don't know that our cards can do tricks, right? So you want to make sure that your cards are good and adhered. You don't want to skimp on adhesive. Let me move that over just a tiny bit. Kind of at a difficult angle. I know y'all know that because I say that a lot. It's much easier to get up and over the card, but we're going to go with that. I can always move it a bit once the video's over and make it perfect. But that looks pretty good to me. So is that not just gorgeous? Just like that. And of course we have our pretty sentiment that we're going to add. And a lot of times when I heat emboss, I will go ahead and do some extra sentiments just so that I have them. I am not a messy crafter. I am not a big fan of getting embossing powder all over, and I seem to do that. I'll say, I'm not a fan of being a messy crafter. I am a messy crafter. So a lot of times when I'm embossing, I will just go ahead and emboss extra so that I don't have to pull it out again. Now, some people I know love to emboss, and it really, there's nothing like it as far as that wow factor, y'all. Okay, I think this is gonna work. I may end up just using that little small one. Maybe so. Maybe I'll put this one up here. We just have so many options. And I may leave the ribbon off because I also have the embellishments from this suite. So these are an iridescent embellishment that they're absolutely fabulous, y'all. So let's do that. Let's just add these 2 flowers. I'd really prefer the larger one to be at the bottom, but I think the way I positioned it, kind of, yeah, we're gonna go with it. We'll be okay. Just add a tiny bit of liquid glue. And these flowers are just so fabulous. They have so much texture to them. And all of that is built into the stamp. So, you know, we are stamping rock stars anyway. But, wow, that just really makes me look like I know what I'm doing, right? So pretty. Yes, I like that better with the smaller one towards the top. And I don't want to cover up my sentiment, my gorgeous embossed sentiment. Alrighty, so look how quick and easy that was, especially having those flowers ready. I just think that's such a good tip. Now, I did not grab my Take Your Pick tool. Let me see if I can pick up this little embellishment. I've got a couple packages that I've opened. See if I can pick this up with my snips. I used to be really good at that before we got the Take Your Pick tool. I still got it, y'all. I can still do it. And I'm just gonna put a couple of these pretty embellishments on. You can see they're super shiny. You know, I love, I was bragging on myself. I shouldn't have done that. I love the iridescent, I'm just going to pick it up. I love the iridescent gems, pearls. It's just, they're just my fave. Okie dokie. Got that on there. So that looks really good. And just a very quick and easy fun fold, but it turned out super pretty. So that is with the Fancy Flora Suite collection. So happy with that. I'll bring that a little closer so you can really see the detail of the flowers and the sparkle of the gem. And it's just a beautiful sentiment as well. Let's make one more. What do y'all think? I'm first going to check and make sure. Yes, we are still rolling, still live. We're going to make one more. We're going to make a Valentine because things are getting really close here to Valentine's Day. And we have the awesome Country Floral Lane Suite. You've seen me use this before. This is a great little stamp set. The designer series paper is fabulous. There is a punch that coordinates with this as well. And it does work with some of the designer series paper too. It coordinates with that. So just a really cute Valentine paper, but I've told you before it goes beyond Valentine's Day because of the images and colors. We'll be able to get a lot more mileage out of this paper. And then the gingham, the country gingham, also coordinates. So this is also part of the suite. And it's just really pretty, kind of pastel, but it does have the sweet sorbet, so that's a little bit darker color, but really pretty and a great accent to use with this paper. So let's make one more card really quick. I'll bring in a couple of supplies. I lost my stamp set, my stamp. I went ahead and cut my card base ahead of time. And this is a petal pink card base. So you'll see it's exactly the same as I did the first one. It is 11 inches by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2, and then I cut 3 inches off that front. Now, while I have this oriented this way, I want to point out both of my cards today are in landscape mode, so turned this way. But you can also do this in portrait. You could put your card together just like this and have it fold up. That works perfectly too. I didn't do that today, but you certainly can. So lots of options. So let's burnish this fold right quick. Score line. And let's bring in some of the Country Floral Lane Designer Series paper. I love these hearts and thought that would be a cute, cute little background. Of course, these blue hearts are cute as well. This has been really fun paper to work with. Unfortunately, the punch that coordinates with this is on, it's out of stock right now. It is coming back, but it won't be back in my online store until April, which is unfortunate. But, you know, sometimes we like to go ahead and get things and put them in our stash, and we'll have them for next year. Plus, you can make lots of cards throughout the year with hearts, right? It doesn't just have to be for Valentine's Day. Now, this is another little piece, and again, 4 by 2 1/4. We're going to put that on the front. You can see that first card, we went for the real pretty factor, and this one, we're kind of going for the fun factor. I think this paper is really cute. I typically make Valentine or whatever holiday, I make treats to take to work. And I make treats for Dale to take to work. And I don't know if y'all realize this, but next Tuesday is Valentine's Day, which means it'll be here like tomorrow, right? So if you have not finished up your Valentines, like me, we've got to get to work, y'all. Maker's got to make. So again, I'm putting that white panel just on the inside there. It's a small area, but you know, it doesn't take a lot of room just to say Happy Valentine's Day. Now this time I've got the piece that's 4 1/4 by 3, and I thought it would be fun. I wanted to use this designer series paper, but it gets a little bit lost on that petal pink because it's a lighter color. So let's mat it. Let's go 1/4 inch smaller. So 4 by 2 3/4. And then my designer series paper is 3 3/4 by 2 1/2. So that way I still get to use the pretty paper that I want to. And I want to show you again, when you put this on the petal pink, it's pretty, right? Put that on this layer and mat this with a little piece of sweet sorbet, and it really, really makes the hearts, the sweet sorbet, pop from that designer series paper. To me, that just makes such a big difference. So don't forget to mat and pull out some of those colors. I actually even think we could have brought the balmy blue out as well. So let's add this piece. I'm going a little crazy with my glue, huh? It's gonna fit right here. So we're still going with that same piece that we cut off, and just a slightly smaller piece of designer series paper, and matting it with sweet sorbet. And that's going to go right here on the front, as you guys know, because we just did that a minute ago. So let's grab dimensionals again. Or you know, this time, what I may do is just adhere that down. So let me kind of get, oops, didn't mean to do that. Let me kind of get it lined up here. So I have some idea. I'll put my finger, and I want to keep my glue towards this side. And again, a little bit more than what I would typically put, because I want to make sure it stays really well adhered. And then I'm just going to line this guy up. And I think that looks pretty good. Give it a little back rub. Let it adhere, and we'll let that dry for a second. And we'll do some stamping. Bring in my piercing mat. Oh, goodness, y'all. I need to clean this dude, don't I? It's okay, though. It still works just fine. And I have a little label. And I was looking to see if I had a piece of scrap cardstock, and I don't, because what I intended to do, I brought the little hearts. I'll show you a little trick that I do sometimes. See what y'all think of this. I brought the little hearts, but I want them to be softer in color. So I wanted to do second generation stamping, but believe it or not, I don't have a scrap of cardstock anywhere close to me. So we'll ink up the sentiment, and I'll get that stamped. And I've only got one shot this time, you guys. Because I just cut one label. And this again comes from my Fancy Flora. Did pretty good, I think. So it's really a pretty little label, but I had that cut, so just grabbed it to use it. And then I wanted to put this little set of hearts, but again, I wanted to do it in a lighter color. So I'm going to stamp it on the back to stamp it off. And then I'm going to come over to the front. And that just gives it a little bit lighter shade of sweet sorbet. So what do y'all think? That was kind of a little bit of a cheater method, wasn't it? So that's not going to show. I'm doing good, right? I will do that from time to time, or even stamp off on my Post-it notes sometimes. I'm going to pop that on the front, and I think I really will pop it on because I glued this part down. Let's find our dimensionals. I really hope that y'all like this fold. Add one more. That's probably a little bit of over dimensionalizing, but that's how I roll, y'all. And then I've got the ribbon comes in a combo pack for this suite. I think that looks pretty good. And somehow I've managed to unwind it. It comes in a combo pack that has the real red And then it also has, it almost looks like a linen. I think it's called a burlap, but to me it looks more like a linen. And, well, this is not going to stay on the bolt right now, so I'm not going to mess with it. But it's really pretty. I just don't have any of the one that's linen right now. So I'm going to tie a sweet little bow with this real red. And even though it's sweet sorbet, there's real red in this paper as well. And I think it just works. Well, I know it does because Stampin' Up! Told me it did. They put it in the suite together, right? But it works together. Really pretty. I'll fix that bolt of ribbon in just a moment. And I did not grab glue dots, so let me do that. And we are almost done today. I hope you guys are having some time to craft. I really appreciate you meeting me here today to spend some time with me. It's always fun to create with you. And it's always fun to try to find different ideas to share with you as well. Now, I have an idea that maybe I will even bring in some of these little jewels, these little gems. I'm going to go with these smaller ones, and I'm just using my finger. Y'all use your take your pick. Don't lose it like I did. I think that that's going to work. I'm not sure where my take your pick is. If you could only see my craft room right now, y'all would not be impressed with me at all. I need to get it together. Okay, so there we have our sweet Valentine, and here we have our fancy Flora. So really pretty, really cute. Either way, whatever paper you have, I think this is a fabulous way to show it off. So this is a great fun fold for you to have in your crafting lineup. And just pull out your paper and make a pretty card today. How's that sound? Okay, I'm trying to think. Stamp class is the 18th. And yesterday was the deadline, but y'all know I love you. If you are running a little bit behind and you would like to join either the virtual class in CT's Craft and Connect group or in person, let me know today and I have no problem adding you. I'm going to be cutting and prepping paper and cardstock for that class today, this afternoon, and then Friday, finishing it up so I can get them in the mail to those that we're shipping to. And so if you've never taken one of my classes before, we do all the work for you so you can have all the fun. All of your supplies are cut and prepped, and it comes packaged up, and you just get to put them together. I'll have a pre-recorded video tutorial on CT's Craft and Connect that Saturday morning at 9, and then in person we have either 9 to 11 or 10 to 12. So it is not too late. I'll be glad to add you because we love stamping friends and stamping with friends. So we would not want to exclude you. And then let me think what else. Paper Pumpkin deadline is the 10th. So if you're interested in a crafting box that just comes straight to your mailbox with everything you need, all you have to do is add a scissor. Just let me know. You can go to paperpumpkin.com and you can sign up there and give it a try. It's awesome because everything is in the box and you just, again, get to create. No work to it, just fun. And I think that that is it as far as announcements. I do have a bingo event. It's called Regency Park. We're going to be using that suite of products to create our make and takes for bingo. And we have so much fun at bingo. It is on Zoom, so it's a virtual, an online event, and it is Regency Park Bingo. The $30 fee does include your bingo cards. You get 2 traditional bingo cards. We usually do 4 make and takes. You get a little goodie bag. There's always a little something with some product in it for you. And it's just so much fun. We meet on Zoom. We have awesome, if I may say so myself, bingo prizes. We really have a great time. And Dale is our caller. He usually gets fired several times, but he always comes back and continues to be our caller. We just have a great time together, so we would love to have you join us for that. And let's see, last week I had a prize, the iridescent rhinestones. Y'all know I love, love, love shiny. And my sweet friend Donna Fenton was the winner of the random drawing. And so Donna, I will put this with your stamp class packet. And I know you're going to pick that up. So congratulations, Donna. I'm excited for you. Now, Donna left a comment last week on our live video, and that's all she did to be entered for a chance to win. You can also share the video, which I know several of you did again last week. That is just so exciting to me that y'all are sharing and liking, sending up hearts and commenting. And we actually reached 1,000 followers on Stamp with CT Facebook page, and I'm really, really excited about that. Thank y'all so much. That is all y'all, and I really appreciate the fact that you share and you comment and you like. It lets Facebook know to show my content to other people and just bring more crafty friends into the fold. Now, I did have an extra package of these iridescent gems, and so that is our drawing that I will give away next week on Facebook Live. So leave those comments, y'all, whether it's here or on YouTube. I love being able to do this little drawing each week just to say thank you. I appreciate y'all so very much. Next week, I'm going to have something a little bit special. I'll just give you a tiny, tiny little teaser. I am celebrating 10 years as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator next Thursday. And so next Wednesday, we'll have something special on our Facebook Live because I am just so, so excited to be a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for a lot of you, or a lot of you that watch are also on my team or demonstrator friends. I never dreamed when I joined 10 years ago that I would have so many stamping besties. And that's probably definitely the very best part of being a demonstrator, and just it has changed the life that Dale and I lead. It just has brought so much joy and happiness to us because of y'all. So thank you very much. I'm excited to celebrate my anniversary with Stampin' Up! Next week. And let me think. I don't think there's anything else. Y'all know as soon as I hit end broadcast, Oliver gets a TREAT. So he has been a really good boy today. So I'm going to say bye for now. I will see you next Wednesday. Y'all have a good week.